Yo, what is up, my dudes? My name is Storm Rose, and on this channel we put what's in here out there, and today is a little different. So, I've been wanting to make a video about the corona, basically since it really started picking up just before, or I suppose just after our spring break, which was earlier than most people's spring break. It was the first week of March, and the corona stuff existed before then, but that's when it really started to become something to consider for us. And but what I wanted to say when I first started actually caring about the corona no longer applies, because I was one of those people that was like, people are overreacting, this is too much, and everything like that. And in a way, I still am. I understand that what we're doing now is helping the spread, and that quarantine is helping, and that the state's actually going on to lockdown, and DeWine's quick reaction has actually kept our numbers down compared to other states who were starting to get cases around the same time as us. But I still believe that people's reactions are causing more issues than the actual disease. So, like, the people that are freaking out and pulling everything off the shelves of the store, and the people who are deciding that they don't need to do anything because it won't affect them. It's going to affect everyone no matter what. It has. So, and it's not something that's meant to be about you, which it took someone telling me that to actually think about the fact that, yes, I could get it and not have symptoms and spread it to someone who I really care about, like my grandparents, who I've had to move in with since I was kicked off of campus. And obviously that's not something I want to happen. I don't want to give it to anybody. I would never want to do that. And, at first I was thinking in a really, selfish, negative way, and I still have been thinking fairly negatively ever since I got the news that I would no longer be able to stay on campus, because there were a lot of reasons why I really had hoped to stay on campus. One being that I hadn't planned on moving off of campus in these next 4 years, because I was going to get jobs on campus during the summertime too, and just move to the different buildings on campus. But I'm realizing now that this quarantine, this sending me home and everything, could be a blessing in a way. I'll get to that in a little bit. But to get through this sort of thing, you need to keep a positive attitude, which I haven't been doing. A large problem for me is the online classes. I really just don't enjoy online classes. I never have. I did online college courses in high school, and I didn't enjoy them either. And I find it very hard to keep myself motivated to do the things I need to do when I'm at home and I can literally just sit in my bed all the time. And for the past week or so, I've kind of just allowed myself to do that. Okay, it hasn't been a whole week. I've only came back on Saturday, and today's Wednesday. So it hasn't even been a whole week that I've been home yet, but I did have a week of online classes before this. And I kind of just allowed myself to push everything off, and I'm still doing that a little bit. But I think today is the day where we're getting over the hump of, I think maybe for a while I needed to allow myself to do that so I could see how bad it was. And now that I've caught up with most of the main work that I was stressing about and just didn't want to do in any way, and I've stopped moping about, I really wasn't moping the past couple days. I've been trying to be productive in some sort of way, but also, part of me just wanted to sit in my bed and sleep the whole day. But I've been working on the other room, which is supposed to be my actual room once we get it finished, but it's a renovation project for me and my grandmother now, which is fun for us. I really like home design, and she really likes home design, so it's fun for us to do that. And I don't mind staying here, even though we don't really have it organized yet, but I haven't been as productive as I could be, and I don't think I was in the right kind of mindset for the past couple of days. And I made it very aware to all my friends and everything. Like, I just kept complaining about everything, and I realized that this is something that you could just sit and complain about, but it's not going to make it any better for me to just sit and complain, and I've realized that. And today I was watching another Kayla Nicholson video. I seem to keep bringing her up in these videos, but she was talking about her spiritual awakening, which she's been going through for the past couple of years, but is really coming to a culmination now. And she just kept saying things that were like clicking in my head, and I recognized in myself. And lately, don't mind my little segment if you don't like that. Sorry, shouldn't be too long. Anyways, past couple of weeks, I've been seeing 1111 everywhere, which has always kind of been like my signal number. Like, I do like see it often, and like I always do the 1111 wish thing whenever I do see it or whatever. And for a long time I had an alarm set just so I could do the wish, although I realize that's kind of cheating, but manifestation in your own ways. But I was seeing 1111 even without my alarm, because I did turn it off once I went to college. And I took it kind of at first as like a surface level sort of thing to just turn my alarm back on and find a new wish that I really wanted to strive for, that I could wish for every day as I did before. And so I was doing that for a while, but I was still seeing, like, I have that one set for the one that's towards the middle of the day, but I would see it at night, and I would see it in things that wasn't even time. And I was really confused as to why it kept coming up, but I never actually bothered to look into it, like maybe I should have. And then today, after watching that video, she was talking about synchronicities, which is when you see things repeating themselves, and that's usually some kind of message from something, somewhere, trying to talk to you. And so I finally went and looked up what 1111 means. And basically 1111 is supposed to be the number of, like, what I was looking at said the masters who changed the vibrations of the entire earth, basically, and like had a huge impact on humanity, like Buddha sort of thing, which that seems like a lot. But it's also supposed to be like your guidance. It said angels, or like it could be spirit guides or whatever, trying to like communicate with you, which that's just the general idea for any kind of numbers synchronicities you're finding. But it says that this is supposed to be a trigger to set you on the path to make your mark in this existence. And I was like, what crazy kind of timing to think that right now, when we're going through something so huge, that everybody keeps talking about how every person can have a larger impact than they can really understand just by influencing a couple people, and then those people influence a couple people because of your influence, and it spreads, right? And so apparently there's 5 different like main reasons you might be seeing 1111. One being to pay attention to your thoughts, because your thoughts will likely manifest. And that is relevant because, like I said, this quarantine this being sent home from campus could be viewed as a blessing if I try to. I've spoken about my vision board before that I had to make. I don't know if I ever actually showed camera, but this is the vision board that I kept putting off making. And I'm today realizing how many of the things on this board I can now do because I got sent home. I now have access to gardening because my grandmother loves to garden. We have a fairly decent yard, and she'll actually like help me get what I want and make sure that I'm like doing it right, help teach me to make sure I'm gardening right. So I have access to a garden, which is actually on here twice because I really am enjoying plants lately. I can read more now that I have more free time and that I'm not so concerned about trying to hang out with my friends all the time, which is also like a genuine thing. Like, you should be wanting to hang out with your friends, but now that we're in quarantine, I have more time to focus on reading and not feel like I'm missing out on my relationships instead. I do still FaceTime everybody. I had the trip to the lake, which was on spring break, and we did that, but the quarantine blast didn't happen until we got back from our spring break, which was super early, and we were confused why it was so early. But now it seems like possibly because I was manifesting this lake trip, it made it happen. Okay? I now have the space to meditate. You can't really see it, but there's a little Om hand, okay? I have the space to meditate and like focus on my mind, which you can see that I've kind of actually started doing today, like realize the things that I can do now and instead of focusing on all the things that I can't do. I have tarot on here, but I've been focusing on tarot all year, but I can do that here. I have more time to focus on my practice now. I have just went outside and did yoga on the porch in the sunlight out in nature, which I have a picture of yoga in nature. I started earning money already this year by getting that costume shop job. Now I don't have that job, but apparently if this money thing from Corona actually happens, I could get $1,200. I don't know if I would or not. Sorry if the lighting changed. We went to visit one of my aunts. But as I was talking about my dream board and this mentioning 1111 manifestation, almost everything on this board is like 1,000 times more accessible to me now that I'm here, which I didn't even think about when I was talking about all the things that I wanted. But this is how I'm going to try and view it as a sort of blessing, is that my ability to manifest is coming into fruition right now. That's one thing. And then the second meaning of 1111 is that everything is a result of your thoughts and feelings, which is kind of similar, but talking about how you need to change the way that you feel, not just your thoughts, because if you have a feeling of worry, you're going to attract the thing you're worrying about, because it's like affirming what you are feeling. And so if I want good things to come out of this situation, I'm going to need to change my perspective so that the things that I'm feeling are less negative. And so, I mean, that's just a good idea to have most of the time anyways, but like specifically right now, that makes sense. And the third meaning is that a deceased loved one is trying to send a message. And basically the message is that it's basically like an invitation to try and hit your awakening, which is ironic considering that I was watching the spiritual awakening video for Kayla Nicholson. And that like their last gift is trying to wake you up so that you can ascend, Buddha. Okay? And then the fourth meaning would be that you're on the path of awakening to remember yourself. And like it's like the remember, where it's like not remember, remember, like with the dash, so that like you're the members of you, like the pieces of yourself, you're trying to put yourself back together. And then the fifth meaning is set an intention, make a wish, as I always do. And it's telling you to take action to make your wishes come true, right? So the action would be to change my vibration, my perspective, and my intentions so that I can change the way I feel to bring about more positive changes and accept the positive things that have already come due to my manifestation. So I'm gonna try and use this time as a positive despite all of the negatives that I've been focusing on. Like,
told you I was gonna lose my mind.
had to acknowledge them and realize that they were there and work through them a little bit to get to this point where I can understand that if I want this time to be good for me, I have to make it good for me, is basically what I'm saying. And if you happen to stumble across this video, perhaps you could try to do the same. Other things, now that I'm home, I'm gonna have more time to make videos and stuff, more time to myself where I can do things that I could try and like focus on making videos. I think I had a list of a couple ideas. Well, some of them I'm not gonna be able to do, at least not this year now, because they were like college central. But I was gonna do like what I eat in a week for college food, which, I mean, I suppose I could do a what I eat in a week grandma's cooking edition. Might still do that. And then I was gonna do like a freshman dorm cooking. That's not gonna happen now. But I could still record a 2020 must-reads list. I know that it's getting a little bit into the year now, but if I get it done still in March, that's not too far in, right? And then a spring cleaning book tag. I saw that somewhere, and it is now the time to be doing that. So, and I am still working on the thrift flips. I now have more time to embroider them, so I should be getting that done faster, hopefully. You guys will get to see the room redecoration video, and I wanted to do a move out vlog, but that didn't happen. There was just so much going on, and it was honestly probably a little bit depressing, to be honest. Just me crying after about every box I taped shut. I really vibed with the environment I was in when I was at school, because I felt so nice, like, mentally most of the time. And now, like, leaving that, almost at first it felt like maybe I was leaving that mentality also, but now I know that I don't have to, and I shouldn't have tried to attach it to a place anyways. But so that is my Corona move out update. Moral of the story is, though it seems negative, if you really want to make the best of what you have, which you should. And that's another thing, that after all of this is done, you'll have so much more appreciation for the things that you had taken from you during this time. So hopefully this thing as a whole causes more positives than negatives. And right now I think I'm in the place where I believe that that's going to happen. So this is my hopeful message to you on this day 3 of my quarantine, but probably more like day 10 of most people's. And with that, I bid you adieu till the next howdy do. Peace. See ya.
Intelligence. Nothing has caused the human race so much trouble as intelligence.